I have this newfound sense of confidence that has enabled me to recognize, appreciate, and value the power of my own vulnerability and voice in a way that I never had before I intended.
I accept, embrace, and appreciate others' perspectives and lifestyles.
One way that I've changed for the better while being at Wake Forest University School of Divinity is learning how to navigate the world in anti-oppressive ways and also how to ground myself in love, peace, and justice.
I've definitely changed for the better by seeing myself as being made in the image of God and my beloved colleagues as the same.
I believe as a result of my experience being here at Wake Div, I've changed for the better as a way of becoming more open to others' theological views and or perspectives, especially as to how they interpret the divine in their own personal faith walk.
I think Wake Div has provided me the opportunity to understand more fully who I am, how that impacts how I show up in the world, and ultimately provide care to persons and communities.
Realizing that everyone has a seat at the table of Jesus.
I've learned that I don't have to fit into some predetermined mold of what a minister should be, and that my path, my journey, and my call were uniquely and intentionally designed just for me.
Before I came to Wake Div, I thought that ministry was a job that I did by myself. But Wake Div taught me that ministry is community work. A community that calls us to things that are greater and always helps us recognize our blind spots.
Paul Lawrence Dunbar wrote the poem Mask about the mask that African Americans wear in their daily life. Wake Div has taught me that to look at my mask as well as to listen to my own voice, and that my voice has a right to be heard in various spaces.
I've discovered things that I didn't know that I didn't know.
Really been able to learn how to show up in the world in ways that are different than I had before. Things like listening to other people's stories and social justice.
I've been changed for the better by being invited to sit in challenging and thought-provoking spaces, by asking hard questions about my faith in the divine, and just by building community and connection with these amazing people and with creation more broadly.
I've become more curious and compassionate and open to experiences that are different than mine.
Since being at Wake Div, I have changed for the better through a community of faculty, classmates, friends who have encouraged me, loved me, challenged me, and have really just supported me on my journey to being my most true self.
It's definitely made me a better person because I've had to come to grips with who I am as a person and what I bring to the world. It's helped me to become a better daughter, a better person, and now a better wife.
It's to be brave and courageous in creating spaces for all of God's creation. With that change, my desire is to go out into the world, this vast world of ours, and to be an agent of change and to be a peacemaker in whatever spaces our God calls me to.
I've become a more empathetic and understanding person, and I'm so grateful for that.
Una forma en la cual he cambiado para bien en Wake Div ha sido aceptando la diversidad en las hijas y los hijos de Dios, como las diferentes expresiones de lo divino en la tierra, y no como una amenaza a la unidad, porque lo que debe unir es el amor y no la homogeneidad.
I believe I have become a more empathetic person who has learned even more the value of intentionality and empowerment through authentic presence.
I have become more self-reflective as a person and understand more about who I am as a minister.
I have learned that God delights because of who we are, not in spite of it.
I hope to be a voice for truth and change. One of the things I've discovered since being here at Wake Div is that silence is no longer an option when it comes to social justice and equality. After graduation, I hope to work with youth and their families and help youth think critically about the ways that they interact with the world.
I plan on pursuing my PhD at Garrett Evangelical Theological Seminary. I got into the PhD program for Biblical Studies, and I plan on pursuing it to its completion.
Once I'm finished, I hope to create a couple of businesses, the most prominent of which is the Singles Liberation Movement, which is going to specialize in blogs and writing to help people
develop their singles ministries.
I've been preaching on death row every 4 to 6 weeks, and I plan to increase the frequency of that. Also, I've been advocating for expanded roles for women in my denomination, the Churches of Christ, and I plan to expand that nationally.
I hope to be a pastoral leader that serves alongside a community of people for the purpose of living out the truth, grace, and loving power of the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Help others see the God in them.
So yeah, I hope to share a spirituality, a spirit of love, which I think we all possess, that is practical and that is lived in our everyday experiences with each other.
I hope to make disciples and draw Christians into deeper relationship with the God who died and rose again to show us his love despite our brokenness.
I hope to help others grow in their relationship with God and each other, and for me that means going to Maryland to be an associate pastor for youth and Christian education, which I'm very excited about.
Learned that for racial reconciliation that I may have to be the next Rosa Parks or the next Malcolm X.
I hope to live a meaningful life where I see the Imago Dei in everyone. Wake Div taught me that everyone is a child of the living God and has the divine in them, and it also taught me that I have a responsibility to see that.
I hope to one day become a professor and a pastor who can bridge head and heart and create a community that continuously seeks change and not always putting God within a box.
I hope to teach God's people how to lean into the groove called life.
I hope to help others find hope in their lives, and I hope to speak life to those that I'll encounter in my residency next fall and in my ministry going forward.
I hope to be able to go into the world being constantly reminded that the holy resides in every single person that I meet, and to honor that spirit both in myself and in each and every being.
I hope to foster intentional, welcoming community wherever I go, using my personal and professional roles and traits, my Wake Div learnings, and doing it in alignment with the Pink Jesus pass down I once had.
That I get to leave this space and have the privilege and the call to go out into the world and deconstruct harmful ideologies while also co-creating and reconstructing a better narrative to tell the Jesus story.
We are the Manifested Crest. Grand premiere, fresh off the press, come and read all about it. We've been founded on intrinsic and infinite prowess more abundant. No adjustment needed to the gifts of our shape, just a bit of sorting out as we begin to create our own. Because when connection and relationship becomes our home, there's no limit to what we can do. No mountain we can't move, no layer of atmosphere we can't soar through. Together, we can build bonds stronger than Babel towers, causing showers of compassion to reign free as we seek to cleanse the earth of injustices. We see this is the work of what it means to be human beings. We must imagine more vividly, examine more critically what it means to operate as one with the mystery, yet unequivocally move with faith as we strive to make our society a better place, admittedly knowing that everyone has a space vocally and visibly. Let us be the ones to leave a trace both collectively and individually, and may piecing the puzzle be our ministry.